Thank you so much for coming out on this dark December evening for this celebration and this recognition of your city representatives. So we're going to start. And just before we begin, I want to make sure everyone in the lobby can hear okay. Can you hear me with a mask? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For those on Zoom, I just want to recognize that we won't be able to hear from you tonight. If you would like your thoughts on the record, you are welcome to send those to Karen to be included in the minutes. Karen, is there a timeline you have for those?
Within the next 24 hours. Okay, nice.
All right, thank you. And for those of us together, I will walk you through tonight's procedures. This is a particularly fun evening because this is the one time hoots and hollers are allowed. That's part of the celebration. You'll know when that's okay. So let's get started. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Shirley. Councilmember Donaldson.
Here.
Councilmember Littell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Gagliotti. Mayor Kerr.
Here. So we're going to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
Allison, in announcements for our invocation.
Almighty and holy God, thank you for the privilege of meeting an in-person meeting. And thank you for this wonderful season. May the spirit of Christmas be so strong that it makes all rivalries and all issues, all controversies fade away. Pray in the name that is above all names. Amen.
Okay, we're going to move on to public comments. This is for any matter subject to the jurisdiction of the city and the council that is not on the agenda. And in which anyone wishing to address the council needs to now, you will have 3 minutes. Please come up to the podium. You Steve.
President Clark, Via Verde, Delray Oaks. Merry Christmas to all of you and the city council and everybody in this room. I do not want to overlook our city staff on this transition day. Thank you, Karen, Lee, Don, Ron, Chief Wayne, Alex Lorca, all of our police officers, all of us that are fantastic, and contacted persons who contribute so much to our great city. It is with deep appreciation that we honor all of you and wish you the best during this holiday season and forward. It's time to heal. If you do feel strongly about something and disagree with the council, do fight for that, but do it with respect and not hatred. City council meetings have always been transparent. They have been by law for decades. If you think it has been more transparent in the last 4 years, it is because you've been starting to attend the meetings, or you got on the mailing list, or received emails from one of the mayor's supporters directly from the mayor. But that did nothing to make it more transparent. It just got the information to you in a way that required less effort on your part. To the mayor-elect and city council-elect, please don't bring national politics into the city of Delray Oaks. Create the environment where once again, we can be neighborly first and do what you can to heal the city of the last 4 years of division that has been caused over the last 4 years. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, citizens. Jim Clark, Via Verde. On my recent reading list is a book by Larry Winget entitled "Your Kids Are Your Own Fault." It's directed towards the parents, but of course on page 9, it has a very interesting sentence that I think is very applicable to what has been going on in DRO and in fact, the United States. It starts out with, quote, "You are not going to agree with everything I say in this book. My request to you is this: If you find something I say that you vehemently disagree with, move on. Go ahead and disagree with me on that one idea and keep reading. We used to be a community that felt that way. And we were referred to in the media and in our own hearts as Mayberry. Something happened 4.5 years ago that changed. And we soon began to be referred to in the media as drama queen. That's in the weekly from September 22nd, 2022. Many people adopted the philosophy. If you disagree with me, you are a worthless human being and not worthy of having any interaction with. Let's be the community that votes people into office based on their experience, qualification, not party affiliation. And as Martin Luther King said, let's not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. With the results of our election in, I have high hopes in my heart that we can become Mayberry again, that we can once again allow ourselves to disagree on an idea or two, and keep reading, keep talking, keep being friends, and polite, caring neighbors. Thank you.
Did you have public comments? All right, we're gonna move on to our first presentation, which is a proclamation in recognition of service for Assistant City Manager, Chief of Police, Jeffrey J. Boyne.
Stand up here.
So please forgive me, I had a hip replacement surgery 4 weeks ago, so I'm not as spry as I normally am, so thank you. All right, proclamation, appreciation of dedicated service to the city of Delray Oaks, with Jeffrey J. Boyne. Whereas the city of Delray Oaks is grateful to Jeffrey Boyne for his leadership of the Delray Oaks Police Department from October 1, 2018 to January 2, 2023. And whereas Chief Boyne successfully established and implemented his vision of a model small town police department. And whereas under Chief Boyne's leadership, the officers of the Delray Oaks Police Department were given the tools needed so desperately to succeed in their mission. And whereas Chief Boyne's open, honest, and empathetic leadership style allowed officers to grow and mature both at work and at home. And whereas Chief Boyne sacrificed time away from his 3 beautiful children whom he adores to help ensure the safety and security of our residents and visitors. And whereas with Chief Boyne's guidance, the Delray Oaks Police Department is stable, growing, and more prepared than ever for the future. And whereas Delray Oaks wishes to thank Chief Boyne for his dedication to providing quality municipal service to those who live, work, and visit our safe small town in the Sunbelt of Monterey. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Allison Kerr, Mayor of Delray Oaks, do hereby proclaim the city of gratitude to Jeffrey J. Boyne for his service to the city of Delray Oaks as Chief of Police. Signed this 13th day of December, 2022, Allison Kerr, Mayor.
So Mayor, do you remember the staff? I think we have some staff who would like to say a few words. There you go.
David, I think you're.
So some of you know, I've been here for a while.
Could you please let me know who you are?
Sure. I've been here for quite a while. We worked under one chief for a long time. And so in 2017, things changed. And we had an interim chief for a while. At that point, we had 3 able-bodied officers to cover our entire city. I met Chief Boyne during that time. He backed me up once on a a guy at Stone Creek that had a hatchet. And I backed him up on a traffic stop. At Tarky's. When Chief got here, he had already figured out the plan. He'd worked on the plan. He built it in his head before he got the job. I'm convinced of that. The greatest thing that he left our city, the thing that will enable us to go forward for years to come is the merger with the airport. It sounds trivial. It made a huge difference in our department. And I'm not convinced that we would have survived otherwise. It's so difficult to run a department with 3 or 4 people to get everything done. The department's larger now, but it's easier to run. We have more people, we have more people to work on more things. We have the same amount of things we had to do back then. It's less people to do them. So I just wanted to thank the chief. I consider him my friend. I'm not supposed to because he's my chief. But he meant so much to me, my wife Hasan. That is my family, just the 2 of us. And I just wanted to thank you for being the person that you were, for giving yourself to us, for letting us make mistakes, for encouraging us. You did what you needed to do to grow the department. I mean, you did it. That was your plan, and you did it. So now go do something else at the SO.
Hello. My name's David Nunez. I've been here at the Dover Police Department. I've been here a good long while too. I was here during the previous administration with Commander Berkman here. And I'll just say never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that we would merge with the airport. We've worked closely with the airport. We've always backed each other up. But going off what Commander Berkman said, it's been a wild ride with you. You know, seeing us grow exponentially, the professionalism that's been brought to our department, all of the things that we've been able to obtain when we were just literally had cars with duct tape. We were sharing cars that had like over 100,000+ miles on them, and just the leaps and bounds that we've made over Chief Point's tenure here. When he first came here, he's like, "Call me Jeff." I'm not calling you Jeff. Be Chief. In my eyes and in my heart, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for us, and I know you will do well at the SO. Everyone believes in that, and go forth and do good things, man. You know, and I'm happy for you. The next step in your life, and I know you're going to be successful at it. So thank you for everything you've done. Thank you.
John?
It's my excuse to come down. Always listen to the boss.
Okay, so you were never my chief, but I call you chief. And you took the reins when Dino left and you held us all together. And I appreciate that. You gave me encouragement when I didn't think I could do what I am doing. And I want to thank you. And you are my friend. And I do call you Jeff. And go do great things.
Thank you.
We are going to public comment.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. Former mayors, you get special treatment.
I get beat.
All right, so, Jeff has I know because he's getting my old office at the sheriff's office. So he has a lot more space to fill. So we want to help him out with a plaque. Cops love their plaques. So this is an important thing. Right? Yeah, I've worked with a few of you. So it says, in appreciation of your service,
Jeffrey J. Hoyne, Assistant City Manager and Chief of Police for the city of Delray Oaks. The city of Delray Oaks thanks you for your vision and leadership in making a model small town police department and showing each of us what is truly possible. Yeah, I'm getting choked up for you. Yeah. Doing the right thing for the right reason, holding each other and ourselves accountable are lessons each of us will take from you. Yeah, so like I said, I've worked with a lot of cops. Jeff is not an average cop. Jeff cares deeply about this community. He cares deeply about the people that he works with. This is family. He's family. He's not a friend. He's family. And he's going to be taking that to the sheriff's office with us. And, coming in after him as the city manager, I'm deeply in his debt for what he did for the city. He's a visionary. And the new logo, the electronics for the police department, creating this police department, merging it with the airport, all of that was Jeff's vision. And we're way better off than we were, and we're going to continue to grow and get better. And now we have a friend at the sheriff's office. So, and they have the jail, so you all have to get out of jail. But like I said, Jeff and I have only worked together for about 1.5 years, but I consider him a close friend at this point. And like I said, we're family. This is a family here, and Jeff is definitely family. And we look after a dog for him when he's on. And we whip him in bocce. So if you haven't played bocce, but really appreciate your service. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, you want any comments now? Would you like to go to public comment and comments?
Yeah, public comment would be great, and then I can close it out, because I'm not starting to cry either.
Okay. Just not for public comments, if you like, please come up.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Jerry Evelyn, 75 Carlton Place, God's Country, otherwise known as Delray Oaks. I'd like to pay homage to our outgoing Chief of Police Jeff Hoyne. I come from a military/priest family. My father was Chief of Police of Fort Ord, otherwise known as Provost Marshal. My son is a reserve police officer in Hayward. As a former elected official, I've dealt directly with various police departments across our entire country. I can honestly say that Jeff Hoyne is one of the finest, if not the finest, police officers I've ever known. Unfortunately, not mentioned in the proclamation is one of Jeff's singular accomplishments as Chief of Police of Delray Oaks. His hard work on consolidating the Monterey Airport Police Department with Delray Oaks' police department under Delray Oaks' leadership is especially noteworthy. This consolidation resulted in a more effective police organization and saved both the airport district and our city many tens of thousands of dollars each year. To have our new sheriff select him to serve in a position of leadership in the Monterey County Sheriff's Office further confirms just how good he really is. I predict Jeff will become a Monterey County Sheriff in a couple of years. Jeff, I salute you.
Any other public comment for Chief Hoyne? All right, we'll come back to the count. Please.
You're right.
Yeah, council first. Susan, any words for Mr. Hoyne?
Absolutely. They're all good too, I really hate to see you leave. You've done so much for our city, and I thank you for that. But I know in your new role, you will be servicing the entire county, and that will benefit us also. So I appreciate and wish you well in your new role. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I also will call you Jeff. That's because I consider you a friend, but I have the utmost respect for you and what you've done here in the city. I mean, not just the consolidation You heard from your officers. I think you completely changed the climate within the police department. And also implemented a lot of new standard operating procedures that will live long after you're gone. And, you know, our loss is the sheriff's department's gain. And I know you're gonna do great things there. And thank you for everything you've done for us, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, what would the city have done without you over the last couple of years? I mean, you, in addition to the airport consolidation, you were always ready and willing to jump into whatever the city needed, including an acting city manager position for over a year. So that and the care in which you protect your team, always pushing for the next piece of equipment or car or training or anything like that. That goes far, and that will stay with the city for many, many years. So thank you. You will do fabulous things. I've been waiting to see what's next for you, you know, where your next leap is, because you were always leaping into something new. So thank you very much for your service here and for your continued service to our larger community. Thank you. Or just speak loud.
I really don't know what to say. I'm actually usually pretty good at public speaking. Going for a campaign and being a police city manager. But that's easy because, you know, usually you're doing something on behalf of someone else or selling something. And the only thing I'm here to sell tonight is to our residents and being frequent Delray Oaks, and what I'm selling is how good your police department is. And it's not because of me, I'm the crazy guy that came in with a bunch of charts and forms and stacks of paper. And these guys and gals believed in it, and they went out and did it. And I always tell people how much the city of Delray Oaks loves its police. So what I'd like to say to follow up with that is you have no idea how much your police department wants you. You're in very good hands, Professor.
Now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Anyone on the council propose any item? Okay, there's actually one that I would like to pull, and it's item C7. It's the city meeting calendar for 2022. My understanding is it's going to be moved to the next
To the January.
to the January meeting for the new council to consider. So anyone in the public want to pull any item on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I will.
Yeah, I recommend we approve the consent agenda with that modification.
I second. All right. Karen, could you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Shirley. Councilmember Donaldson.
Aye.
Councilmember Lintel.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Gagliardi. Mayor Kerr.
Aye, so it's unanimous. Thank you. We have no old business, and we're all here tonight for the new business. The first one is the presentation and proclamation. And we will be recognizing those of us that are departing, and how the schedule will go. I will read two of the individual city proclamations, and a guest will read the third. Next, the council will offer comments for those leaving. I will then call for any elected officials or regional board representatives. And then public comment will be open for all three departing council persons at the same time. And then Ms. Lintel and I will have a few moments to share our final thoughts from the night. So on that, our first proclamation will be for Ms. Lintel. So appreciation of dedicated service to the city of Delray Oaks by Patricia Pat Lintel. Whereas the city council serves as the electing, governing legislative body for the city of Delray Oaks. And whereas Councilmember Lintel served as an elected city council member from 2014 to 2022, and as appointed vice mayor for the year of 2020. And whereas Councilmember Lintel served on the board of directors of Community Human Services, Monterey Peninsula Water Management District PAC, Seaside County Sanitation as an alternate on Transportation Agency for Monterey County and Monterey Salinas Transit. And whereas Councilmember Lintel is respected and liked by all current and past staff. Whereas Councilmember Lintel is the most senior councilwoman in the history of the city. And whereas Councilmember Lintel's dedicated service was defined by her long-standing representation of the city of Delray Oaks, her sincere care for and appreciation of city staff, and her continual desire to make the right decisions on behalf of the city and its residents by listening. And whereas Councilmember Lintel has set an example of caring and tireless service to others. Now therefore, I, Mayor Allison Kerr, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Delray Oaks, do hereby acknowledge with deep appreciation Pat Lintel's 8 years of selfless commitment and service to the region and to the City of Delray Oaks. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Delray Oaks to be affixed this 13th day of December 2022. So we'll go to the council for comment.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I actually had planned to talk about this a little bit later, but I'll talk about it now, Pat. Thank you so much for really your dedicated, selfless service, not only to the city, but also to the greater community over the many, many years. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'd like to say, to recognize your long-standing service to important regional social services for the duration of your time, and that will surely be missed. I'm not sure whether you will still be involved with Citizens Action Committee, but it would be crazy if you weren't recognized for your wrangling of the Pony Express for so many years, which benefit all of us. The Pony Express is who delivers the acorn to your door. And Pat is the one responsible for getting everybody out there to do it. So thank you for that. And the best in all of your next ventures, whatever those may be. So are there any elected officials or folks from a regional entity that would like to recognize Pat?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have worked, my name is Alana Miles, and I'm going to be my term with the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District. And this evening, I'd like to say that it's been a pleasure working with Pat on the Community Human Services Board, always having community questions, always being prepared, and working also on other committees. And it's been a real pleasure, and thank you so much for what you've done, not only for Delray Oaks, but also for community human services.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead with the next proclamation, and then we'll go off for public comment for everyone. All right. So the next proclamation is for Vice Mayor Gagliardi, who's not here today, but that doesn't matter. We're still going to read it and recognize the service to our city. So appreciation of dedicated service to the city of Delray by John Gagliardi. Whereas John Gagliardi served as a planning commissioner from 2013 to 2017, served as chair from 2014 to 2017, was elected to the city council in November 2018, and served as vice mayor in 2022. And whereas Vice Mayor Gagliardi diligently represented the city on the board of directors of Corridor Reuse Authority, Monterey Salinas Transit, Monterey One Water, Seaside Groundwater Basin Water Master, and as an alternate on the Seaside County Sanitation District, Monterey Regional Waste Management District, Community Human Services, and Monterey Bay Community Power Policy Board. And whereas Vice Mayor Gagliardi's dedicated service to the community was characterized by loyal representation of the residents of Delray Oaks and the city's best interest, thoughtful deliberation of policy, stewardship of taxpayer dollars, and a commitment to transparent and accountable governance. And whereas Vice Mayor Gagliardi served as a leader on the council through an unprecedented global pandemic and saw the community through to a positive and stable course. And whereas Vice Mayor Gagliardi could always be depended on to engage intelligently, actively, and constructively, particularly on water and development issues, ready to work collaboratively with fellow council members, stakeholders, and the community to achieve the appropriate outcomes for the city. And whereas Vice Mayor Gagliardi stands today as an example of Delray Oaks' best, most dedicated, and most honorable elected officials serving our residents. Now therefore, I, Mayor Allison Kern, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Delray Oaks, we hereby acknowledge the deep appreciation of John Gagliardi's 9 years of commitment, dedication, and service to the region and to the city of Delray Oaks. In witness whereof, I am herein to set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Delray Oaks to be affixed this 13th day of December 2020. Are there any elected officials or county representatives here on behalf of Vice Mayor Gagliardi? Okay, and we'll go to the council for comments, if you will. Ms. Lintel, for Mr. Gagliardi.
It's been a pleasure. John is always at my left here. And I'm not accustomed to anyway, I've always enjoyed John. I admire him for what he has accomplished as a council member. And I'm pleased to be called his friend. Thank you, John.
Mr. Jonathan?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. John, if you're out there listening, thank you for your service. He's kind of the quintessential local boy done good. From, a paper boy here in Delray Oaks up to serving on the council. And John, it's been an absolute pleasure serving with you, not only on the planning commission, but also on the council.
So John and I had some very public differences of opinion. But I always appreciated his willingness to raise his hand to participate in council committees, such as the sign, city manager, and values committee, to name just a few. His work helped resolve legal issues and financial work with Cora, both of which have greatly benefited our city, but were probably very unknown to many. So I'd like to thank John for his work and many, many years of service to the city. So lastly, Councilperson Shirley is unable to join us as she's recuperating from a recent surgery, but her husband and our Monterey Regional Park District representative, Dr. Kevin Araska, is with us this evening and will share her thoughts on her behalf. He will begin by reading and presenting the proclamation to the mayor. And then afterwards, he will share her comments for the departing council members. Dr. Ascot, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Very honored to be asked to do this. Proclamation of appreciation of the dedication of service to the city of Delray Oaks by John Gagliardi. I get to pretend I'm John tonight. Whereas John Gagliardi served as I'm giving these wrong. This one was better. The same. So appreciation of the dedication, service to the city of Del Rio, by the city of Del Rio for. Whereas the city council serves as the elected governing legislative body for the city of Del Rio, and whereas Mayor Kerr served as mayor from 2018 to 2022. And whereas Mayor Kerr was elected and served as the first female mayor in the history of city of Del Rio. And whereas Mayor Kerr served as the board member and chair of the Monterey County Mayors Association, board member on the Monterey Conservation Water Authority, and the Transportation Agency of Monterey County, along with serving on Monterey County Housing Coalition and co-founding Sustainable Del Rio and Del Rio Neighborhood Watch. And whereas Mayor Kerr dedicated service was characterized by her devotion to the beautification of the city through her efforts establishing the Mayor's Arts Committee and the Parks and Recreation Committee, whereas she served as the council liaison, and her thoughtful stewardship of taxpayer dollars and the commitment to transparent and accountable governance, including her service on the city's Budget and Finance Committee. And whereas Mayor Kerr served as mayor and helped lead the city with passion and concern for all of its residents during an unprecedented worldwide pandemic with a broad financial and social uncertainty. And whereas Mayor Kerr was a strong supporter and advocate, instrumental in the city's successful efforts to bring the Fort Worth Regional Trail and Greenway to the city. I now, therefore, Vice Mayor John Gagliardi, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Del Rio, I do hereby acknowledge with deep appreciation Mayor Alzheimer's 4 years of commitment and service to the City of Del Rio. Signed this 13th day of December 2022.
So again, it's for council comments and consult. Oh, my apologies. Any elected officials or regional board representatives?
Thank you for giving me the chance, John, to share this. My name is Todd Muck. I'm the executive director of the Transportation Agency for Monterey County. And Tansy, as we're known, is one of the many special districts that when you get elected to council, you find that you're assigned to. And oftentimes people don't quite know what we do until you get on board. Tansy's board of directors includes one representative of each of the 12 cities and each of the 5 county supervisors. So we have quite a large board, a lot of interaction amongst the communities across the county. And the board adopted a certificate of appreciation last week and signed by our chair, Mary Adam, provided from Monterey County this year. And just want to express our appreciation for your service this past 4 years as Doug's representative Tansy. And as you're shepherding the Fort Worth Regional Trail project through this past 4 years as it's been moved forward to construction, which we will set for this upcoming year. So thank you very much for championing the project, for being part of Tansy and your role as a regional leader for transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Everyone in the room and those watching online. My name is Justin Tran. I am the district representative for California State Senator Don Laird. And on his behalf, Mayor Kerr, I just want to congratulate you for the work that you've done as mayor and give you the certificate of recognition from the California State Senate. And it reads, on behalf of the California State Senate and the 17th Senate District, I want to thank you for being a champion for the environment, access to green space, and the city's parks and recreation. Your keen eye helped you for fiscal accountability and made sure that taxpayer dollars were used prudently for the good of the community, all while managing overdue and aging infrastructure needs. I look forward to see what you achieve in your next endeavor, as I know it will surely benefit us all on the electoral close. So again, on behalf of Senator Laird, thank you again for all the work you've done. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Carolyn Swanson. I'm a Pacific Grove Unified School District School Board Trustee. I'm here tonight to thank Mayor Kerr for all your work in Delray Oaks. I have close family who lives in Delray Oaks and adores living here, enjoys it very much. And you educated so many people about the beauty and loveliness of all the people who live here and the landscape of Delray Oaks. And I also wanted to thank you on behalf of all of the folks you've encouraged in the entire county to run for office, regardless of their background. Excuse me. Thank you for that. I wouldn't be elected if it wasn't for you, so I very much appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Again, good evening, Mayor, and also for the city council. I'm Alana Miles, outgoing board member at NPDS School. And I'd like to say it's been a real privilege. Although I haven't worked with Allison on a committee, we've been at many events supporting the same efforts for our community. I thank you for your efforts with transparency in government, as well as inclusivity, and along with the city council, leading the city in good financial standing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alana. But I received a text from our supervisor, Wendy Askew, who is still in the Board of Supervisors meeting, and so she's hoping to go here at some point. And so, if I'm still up here, we'll make space for her. And so on that, what we're gonna do is go out for public comment. Everyone will have 3 minutes to talk about any and everybody that's departing. So now is your chance, please. You're welcome. Yeah. Please come.
I was leaning to.
No worries.
Good.
It's all good.
Madam Mayor, again, Jerry Edelman, 75 Carlton Place in God's Country. I'd like to honor those council members who are departing, and later on in this evening, the incoming council members who I've known for many years. First, Pat Lintill. 8 years ago, she was elected to our city council as a protest candidate. This happens each election cycle. A certain segment of our population spreads a great deal of misinformation to get its candidates elected. Being supported by these folks, Pat joined our city council as a skeptic, to say the least. However, after thoroughly studying all the issues faced by the council over a number of months, she realized that the council wasn't trying to hide anything and had no agenda other than trying to do what was best for our city. She then went on to be an invaluable team player, hardworking, intelligent, and a consensus builder. Despite her young age, she consistently worked as hard or harder than any other council member in Monterey County. I wish I had half her energy. Next, John Gagliotti. After being elected to our city council, John was quickly appointed to the Fort Ord Rios Authority. That's the organization that initially oversaw our 360 acres out there. He quickly became a water expert on all the water issues. To this day, he is respected across our county as one of the water experts. As a member of the Fort Ord Rios Authority, which people may not realize, he steered millions of dollars to our city to help in the redevelopment of our Fort Ord lands. We received this money solely based on his and our former city manager Dino Pick's efforts. As not many realize, it's not the size of the city and Monterey County politics that matters. It's the leadership capability of the city's representative that determines an individual city's influence. And Delray Oaks is almost always punched way above its weight. May our outgoing council members always experience fair winds and following seas. Thank you.
Mayor Kerr. Frederica Jones, Delray Oaks. 4 years ago, you ignited us, awakening the potentials of our sleepy town. You advanced us and you thrust us into a positive spotlight on the peninsula with your wonderful ideas of inclusion. You bettered us with new policies and practices, such as flying the first pride flag. You shared your visions, your promising of a brighter tomorrow by inviting and including us all. You recognized our gifts and talents. You drew us out of our comfort zones by creating parks, arts, recreation committees, sustainable DRO, and a butterfly garden. This showed us that we were correct in choosing you as our mayor. You guided us through a pandemic as you emailed and called DRO residents. You created a monthly mayor's newsletter to keep us informed and to inquire if there was anything we needed. We saw you allocate and deploy resources to our neighbors in need. You used your leadership style to successfully collaborate, advocate, and plead with state and federal partners, creating new ways of engaging, informing, and governing, all to the safeguard your neighbors that you serve. You spoke truth, you were transparent, and you always made yourself readily available to every resident. You took time to listen, even when others were not in agreement with your vision. You carried the mantle of leadership as if it weighed nothing, but often we saw it was heavy. Yet you soared as an eagle and you rose to the occasion, even after being berated and verbally abused by those seated near you who refused to catch a glimpse of your vision or profusely disagreed merely because they felt they had a right to. You displayed grace, patience, and strength, knowing this was not about you, but rather you were serving all of us. And you focused on making a difference for us all. We know leading the city was not easy. We saw it as exasperating, challenging, and exhausting. You stood tall and accepted the challenge of leadership, showing true leadership to be strong, not rude, to be kind and not weak, to be bold, but not be a bully, be thoughtful, not lazy, be humble, be not timid, be proud and not arrogant, yet have humor without folly. When the butterfly garden was created, we watched you emerge from your own cocoon. Your cocoon should have been your protective casing. Instead, we saw how the cocoon represented those trying to hold you back and held you hostage to the old ways of governing this town. Yet you emerged as our beautiful butterfly. Mayor Kerr, everything you did showed how much you loved us in Delray Oaks and you valued each of us. And you always wanted nothing but the best for Delray Oaks. Thank you for your amazing contributions. You and your leadership style will be profusely missed. Thank you. Pat, I've known you for a long time. You are my friend. And I just want to say that you always went out to the public. You went out to all your neighbors when you wanted to make a decision about anything, and you really cared about everybody. And I really appreciate that. And everything that Jerry had to say was spot on. John, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you're not here to hear this, but again, what Jerry had to say was perfect. John collected facts. He based his decisions on facts and not emotions. And I thank him for that. And I thank him for being such a great person on the water board and for looking out for Delray Oaks. So it's a hard act to follow, Jerry, but the two of you have done a lot for Delray Oaks. And thank you, Mayor Kerr, for your dedication for the last 3 years. Mayor Kerr and Council, I'm now Gary Krieger. He was not able to be here tonight. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to read this. 4 years ago, Allison Kerr answered the bell and ran for mayor. During the last 4 years, she has worked tirelessly to be a good steward of Delray Oaks' finances. And today we are on solid footing despite the challenges of the pandemic. She enthusiastically made the workings of Delray Oaks more open and transparent, from making finance committee meetings open to the public to the creation of various ad hoc committees populated by the wide variety of residents. Delray Oaks residents now enjoy unprecedented opportunities to not only observe, but participate in running our wonderful city. Mayor Kerr was never satisfied with cursory knowledge of any issue. She invariably dove into the details and as a result of her efforts, came prepared with focused and probing questions. There was never any doubt that the best interest of Delray Oaks was her first priority. We all owe her an enormous amount of gratitude, and I want to extend to Mayor Kerr my personal heartfelt thanks for a job well done.
Sorry, I made a mistake and we went to public comment before we heard from Council Shirley's husband on her behalf.
So, for the audience, I'm now Kim Shirley. And I've been told not subject to the 3-minute limit. First, I'd like to express my deep apologies for not being able to deliver this in person, but to many people, including my doctor, have shared that it's best I rest at home. Which, you know, Kim, know that resting at home was worse than surgery. It's not my strong suit, but I'm making the best of it. Tonight, we say goodbye to 3 of our council members who have all shown their love of Delray Oaks in their own unique way while serving our city. My first thank you goes to Councilmember Pat Lintel. Councilmember Lintel, you have been dedicated to our city, and your willingness to serve for 8 years at this time of your life is absolutely admirable. Your service to the city, especially through the pandemic and all of its necessary Zoom calls, shows you as a role model for all of us. Thank you for all of your work and the work you've done on our regional boards, especially your very important and meaningful work with community and human services. I wish you all the best as you leave the council and find other things to joyfully fill your time. My next thank you goes to Councilmember John Gagliardi. As much as we may have disagreed, I always appreciated your ability to step out and find opportunities for collaboration, to work together towards fruitful outcomes. My biggest appreciation was for his work on our sign ordinance, which began prior to my council appointment and eventually ended with the groundbreaking law for our city. His most recent work on the Core Values Committee was another example of his ability to step across the aisle and work towards a positive outcome. I thank Councilmember Gagliardi for his work, and I wish him the very best. And lastly, I'd like to thank Mayor Allison Kerr for all the ways you have demonstrated your values and dedication to the city through your tireless ability to engage, create, communicate, and care for everyone in our city and the region. Your dedication to the people of this city was shown right away. First actions in creating the mayor's advisory committees would provide residents opportunities to explore their interests in art, culture, and our natural environment. These committees demonstrated your desire for resident engagement in these enriching areas and provided growth and leadership opportunities for others. Whether they were creating artwork, documenting longtime resident stories, or helping to create the Butterfly Garden, you provided multiple areas where people's lives could be enriched through your leadership. And you didn't stop there. At every opportunity, you made sure to invite residents to participate in our city functions, whether it was a city council meeting, applying for planning commission, police advisory committees, playing a part in the hiring of our city manager, or creating the parks and recreation. Your actions always made it clear that people were welcomed and encouraged to participate, which helped bring their voices to these important areas. As the pandemic came upon us, you not only seamlessly continued to do city business, but you took the time to again show your care for the residents of Delray Oaks. Whether it was the informational Zoom meeting, which allowed residents to safely gather and connect, or provide email updates, you made sure that residents got their questions answered and were given the information they needed to make it through these difficult times. Besides caring for the people, you also clearly showed your love for democracy by encouraging participation, transparency, and thoughtful discussion in our city meetings. Making sure the city's financing committee meetings were open to the public, in addition to having greater access to the documents on the city's websites. You showed us how important the transparency is to a well-functioning city. You also upheld that transparency value for yourself with your citywide emails and your detailed informative city council reports. We know that democracy works best when there is thoughtful discussion and exchange of information, which you always demonstrated in your council meetings. Your willingness to engage in discussions with your fellow council members and always ask questions on events. You showed us that you value knowledge and open communication, which you then use to make the best decisions for our city. Thank you. And please know, in addition to your regular admirers, you always have an admiration of my mother, who always loved seeing your strong yet kind nature when you ran our city council meetings. Besides caring for people in democracy, Mayor Kerr, you always made it clear that you also care deeply about the environment. Your stance on protecting 17 acres from development, supporting active and safe transport with FORTAG, beautifying our city parks with upgrades, helping sustainable Del Rio trash pickup, and just spending time pulling invasive weeds out of Work Memorial Park. We were always willing to stand up for our natural spaces. As a fellow council member, I loved that I could always count on you to support sustainable practices within the city or to make decisions that reflected our desire to affect climate change. It was you who helped bring us into the folds of carbon-free energy at Central Coast Community Energy, and I thank you. And lastly, I'd like to personally thank you for your bravery and friendship. You've been a role model not only for myself, but for everyone in the city who may have wondered about their leadership. You've never had a majority on this council, yet you've persevered and governed with your values first, making proclamations recognizing our LGBTQ community, raising the pride flag, and acknowledging and celebrating our racial diversity. I respect you deeply for all of the energy and positive changes you brought to our city. Thank you for supporting me, encouraging me, and guiding me along the way, especially through all of the sometimes scary social interactions that come with this gig. I've grown as a leader and have you to thank for getting here. Thank you for continuously caring so much about all of us. Please know that you will be greatly missed on this dais. With our love and admiration, thank you for your dedication to our leaders.
Any other public comments for any the departing council members?
Karen Harris, Rosita Road, Mayor, City Council members. I'm happy to be able to share my comments with you. I'm also co-chair of Sustainable Del Rio Oaks with Kim Shirley. And first I wanted to say thank you, Pat, for our year-long service and being like a neighbor to me. You took me in, it seemed like years ago when I was struggling with my husband's health, and you're a really good friend to me, and I'm really grateful for everything you did to be so sweet and kind to me. And I know you value everybody at the community resources, human resources there, and you gave a lot. And thank you, I admire you for that. And John Gagliotti, he spent hours with me going over figures, water figures, tables and tables and all this data. He was very patient with me. He listened to my ideas because we didn't agree. And I was trying to help him to digest the information into a PowerPoint or something to get it out there in the community. But he was very smart, and he was caring enough to listen. And Allison, I wanted to thank you as not only the co-founder of Sustainable Del Rio Oaks, but all the support that you've given for not only the Butterfly Garden, but the Earth Day events, and trying to establish these sustainable practices here in the city, and mostly FORTAG. I think that's an important thing for our city to meet our general plan requirements. So I really appreciate your efforts. And, thank you for being a friend, supporting us and everybody in the city, and providing the opportunity through your mayor's advisory committees for residents to speak up and share their ideas and to participate in the city's workings. And I admire everything that you've done and your perseverance, your grace, and I hope that you continue to serve the city. Thank you.
My wife worked here, she's been,
David, could you let the crowd know who you are?
my name is David Rojas, I'm from the Del Rio Oaks condos.
Perfect.
And my wife moved here, she spent a amount of $145,000 for her place in the condos. It was a long time ago. When I came aboard, I spent 9 years president of the condo. Afterwards, my wife and I spent 20 years doing their voting registration for Del Rio Oaks. And each that time he gave us support. And I want to appreciate that.
My wife and I would appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. Welcome to you, and I wish you the best in the future.
Thank you. No further public comments for three of us leaving, Mr. Orton?
Jerry Orton, same address as the mayor. I have, through your tenure, as you know, assiduously, love that word, assiduously avoided making public comments for or against issues. Obviously, I never felt it was appropriate, but I'm gonna make the exception tonight. I'm so thankful. I have seen the stress that you go under and the care that you have for this community, for the projects. You're so studious, you read packets from front to back, you attended meetings, you tuned into meetings at state level, county level, regional level, all to improve and your knowledge, to gain more knowledge and find ways that those entities could help the city, and you've done a marvelous job. When we met 18 years ago in Lake Tahoe, I never imagined that I would be living with this mayor who has taken on this great job, and your political acuity just, for lack of a better term, blows me away. So, honey, not everyone in the room can call you honey. So I'll take advantage of that. I'll see you at home. And I love you. Thank you.
That's a nice way to end. All right, so we'll bring it back to the council. Ms. Lintel, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, I do. It was 14 years ago when I then married Jerry Edelman, who was the greatest mayor, and Kristen Clark, who was on the city council, approached me and asked me to run for city council. Never had it occurred to me prior to that. So I told my son, and I thought he was going to say, "Mom, are you out of your mind?" But instead he said, "Great." So that was the start of my career, and it's all been pleasurable. I've enjoyed all the people that I've worked with on the council. I've enjoyed speaking with my constituents, and I would like to thank our city manager and our staff, Aaron and Lee, and our police department, Jeff and Chris, and all the police officers. It's just been a real pleasure working with you all. And thank you for electing me in the first place. It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to turn it over to someone else.
So I have a few words. This is the last time I'll be addressing you this evening as mayor, and I sit before you tonight full of emotion. 4 years ago, the residents of Delray Oaks gave me the great honor and opportunity to serve on the city council to help bring about community change, beginning with joining Monterey Bay Community Power, increasing city transparency, and creating opportunities for citizen involvement. To witness the success of this approach has meant the world to me. I never thought I would get into politics until I knew I had to. With everything that we have faced together these last 4 years, it has not been easy. One of my guiding lights, Senator Paul Wellstone, who I was fortunate to meet many years ago, said politics isn't about big money or power games. It's about the improvement of people's lives. That has always grounded me. While there is always more to do, I am leaving tonight proud of all of the improvements that have been made during the past 4 years. These achievements belong to all of us, our city staff, the council, and most importantly, the residents. You are our greatest source of strength and our most important resource. It is my privilege to work alongside you all on so much good, such as the mayor advisory committees that birthed along, amongst other things, Sustainable Delray Oaks and the first Delray Oaks Arts Showcase. There's also the Police Advisory Committee, the City Manager Hiring Committee, and the Parks and Rec Committee. So thank you for your participation that made it possible for our city to become more just, vibrant, and livable. Looking to the future, when I called Mayor-elect Donaldson to congratulate him, he asked me if there was anything I felt he needed to know. I wasn't ready with my thoughts then, but I am now and would like to share them with him and with you tonight. First, always be guided by a standard of excellence grounded in ethics. As decisions come before the city, look well into the future and ask yourself if what is being considered will be deemed excellent in 25, 50, or even 100 years from now. Don't settle for mediocrity, the easiest thing, or anything less than decisions based on transparency, integrity, merit, fairness, and honesty. It may be more difficult and a lengthy path, but that is what the city and its residents deserve. Secondly, the long march for racial, gender, and social equity is far from finished. It is up to us to care for and respect each other. Let's recognize and celebrate our diversity and the richness of the many cultures and traditions that form the tapestry of our community. Lastly, climate change is the most pressing concern facing us and our planet. We are already experiencing the impacts, so do not think it is another's action to take. Individuals and cities are a critical piece in the global climate puzzle, and it is crucial we all move towards decisions that protect our precious planet. The memories, lifelong friendships, and the good work we've done together will nourish me as I move towards my next adventure. But this is by no means goodbye. Just like our little city, there's no quit in me. I will continue to be an active Delray Oaks resident and look forward to working side by side with you again in the next venture. As I walk out of City Hall tonight, I am blessed to walk into the warmth and love of Jerry, my family, and my friends. Thank you for being with me through the thick and thin. I have a few more things to do before I leave the dais this evening, but please join me in wishing Ms. Lintel the best as she learns. So we're going to move on to swearing in the Learning Council. What we'll be doing is we will each will be sworn in, and then they will be sat at the dais. At that point, they will have an opportunity to share their thoughts. Once the new mayor is sworn and seated, the meeting is then his for his comments, the public comment segment, and the remainder of the meeting. I would like to call John Cooley to the front. There we go.
Request, hold the microphone for me, please. Thank you. So how are we doing it? Okay. All right, so
it has been my pleasure and distinct privilege to serve as Delra's first female mayor. And I'm thrilled that from tonight forward, our people of color, immigrants, and our LGBTQ community will have their first representative on the council. I am very much looking forward to watching your intelligence, kindness, and thoughtfulness in action on behalf of our community. Let's do this. Thank you. So, your right hand and say, "I," your name,
I, John Romel Fernandez Huy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the constitutions of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which
the duties,
well,
the charge,
faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon that I will say, upon that I will be entered.
Yes. All right.
So help me God and Delray Oaks, neighbors and friends. Thank you.
Grab a seat.
Thank you.
You want my copy? Myself? You're supposed to drive. So, Mr. Uli, you are welcome to make some comments if you'd like.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I have a little note here, so I won't forget. First of all, I would like to really thank my parents who are here with me today. Elena and Romulo, please be recognized, and this will be like a great honor for me. They have really done a lot to me, and I cannot fully repay them for all the things that they have done and what I am today. And of course, my family is my everything. I know society said that the family is the bedrock of society, but for me, my family is really everything. And the same with all of my families here in the United States, at work, and also here in Delray Oaks. So I really treasure my families. And I know this is also the thing that you feel with your families. So please treasure them while they're still here. So I also want to thank Michael, who became a part of my family, and also for really for being here with me, especially this one-of-a-kind campaign ride. I apologize for dragging you into this, but I thank you so dearly. And I know a lot of people is very great. A lot of people is grateful for you for being here with me, and I really really treasure that. And I also want to thank all of the Delray Oaks candidates for giving Delray Oaks a clean and honest election. And I'm really like so proud of that, because in other countries, they can't even do that. So thank you so much for my co-candidates for really like having a clean election here in Delray Oaks. I mean, I'm so proud of that. Thank you. And of course, most of all, I would like to thank my supporters, my neighbors, my friends here, and Delray Oaks residents who are here with me today, and also who are watching online. You have really like, you are the reason why I'm in here in front of you today in the chamber of the people. So you have really entrusted your voice with me, and I'm gonna be bringing it here in our council. So you have entrusted enormously and overwhelmingly your trust and confidence in me, your friendly immigrant neighbor who has an accent. But thank you, just bear with me, this is new to me, but I will always serve you wholeheartedly alongside the members of the council. And we will really serve you, and we will work together for you. So long live Delray Oaks, and God bless America.
Jeremy Alex.
I, Jeremy Allen Holm,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter, so help me God.
And Scott Donaldson.
Jeremy gonna speak?
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you for the opportunity to express my thanks and gratitude. I'd just like to say that I feel immensely proud and privileged for the opportunity to give service to the city of Delray Oaks and our residents, our family here. And so help me God, I vow to be of maximum service to our good community here. So thank you very much.
I state your name,
I, Scott Donaldson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
and against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties I'm about to enter.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Happy holidays, everyone.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here. I'm so grateful in so many ways. And I would also like to thank Allison for her dedicated service to the city and her accomplishments over the past 4 years. And I wish her nothing but the best of luck. I also would like to congratulate Jeremy and John for your election victories, and I really look forward to serving with you on the council. Karen, it was an absolute honor for you to swear me in. Karen was the first person on the staff that I met about 6 or 7 years ago. And I was doing my remodel at my house, and I would do the plan checks. And I would have to come in and see her and make sure that they got approved. And one day she put a planning commission application in front of me, and she says, "You're gonna fill this out. You're gonna show up at a meeting, you're gonna answer some questions, and you're gonna be nice.
And wear a suit.
And you're not gonna wear your baseball hat." That's how I became part of the planning commission. As time went by, I met other members of the staff, and I know I'll have the opportunity in a couple of days to talk more about the staff. But from top to bottom, nothing but a group of just professional staff members that do great work. I'm just so proud of them, and it's going to be an honor to work with you. I also have some family members with me today that I would like to acknowledge. My wife, Mary Frances. Who was there with me not only for this run, but also the council run when we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. But you stood by me, and most importantly, gave me perspective and kept me grounded. Thank you. I'm also very happy and thrilled to have my brother and sister here, who came all the way from Southern California. And growing up as kids, we didn't have much. And, you know, I spent until I was 18 and left the house. I was with my brother. We were in basically a 9-by-9 room living together. And he left to go to West Point. And he was the first one in our family, on either side of the family, to get a college degree. And when he was done, or actually before he was done, I missed him so much. I followed him there so I could be with him. Thank you for being here. I also have my sister Karen. I have some great Karens in my life. She came up from San Diego and she grew up tough, having two older brothers, I'll tell you that. And not to be outdone, not only did she do extremely well, but she actually did better than us. She earned her doctorate she's a doctor of physical therapy and has her own practice in San Diego. And I'm so proud of you and thank you so much for being here today. And last but not least, I would like to thank all my supporters. Those who I met when I first came here about 6 years ago that embraced me, my planning commission colleagues that I served with, as well as my colleagues on the council, and those that I just met recently and got to know really well throughout this campaign. And I really appreciate everything that those folks and my supporters have done for me, because without you all, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for that. The last thing I'll leave you with is, I know in a lot of ways, when you have a change of leadership, there's a bit of anxiety that comes with it. And I just want to reassure folks that I didn't run for mayor to have a political agenda or to turn around any of the progress that we've made in this city. I ran to look out for the best interests of this city and the people who live here. And that's regardless of who you supported. And I just want you to know that. Thank you again for being here. And with that, I guess I need to close this out. So I think we have some cake out there that we did. Okay, all right. So are there any council reports?
Council reports are in the packet. If anybody would like to read them, they were written this time.
Okay, and then our next meeting. Okay, correspondence, we have MST highlights and letters regarding Mayor Kerr are in the packet. And then our next meeting will be January 24th at 6 p.m. So with that, we are adjourned.
Very